Everyone, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. Today, I'm out here in this incredible forest with Susie. This is Susie's first time in the secret gem. I found this maybe last year, something like that, and it was one of the most incredible forests I've ever been in. And I've wanted to take Susie to this place for so long, so here we are today.
Today, Luke and I are out for a day hike, and we will be cooking lunch while we're in the forest. This moss-covered forest is very cool, but it's very damp today, so I'm thankful I brought my fleece to the top of the mountain. Even though it's the middle of summer, we are up here in 50-degree temps.
Susie, it feels amazing.
It does.
Yeah, this morning it was about 40 degrees here. How about that? It should be mentioned, there are no trails here, as you all can see. With this is very much a path that I created to a beautiful spot. Nice and slow is the name of the game when you're hiking through ferns like this. You can't see the ground. There's no way to see what you're about to step on, so you just go nice and slow. Feel out every single step.
We are just getting started on this hike, and this forest is breathtakingly beautiful. It's incredible. It's so quiet out here. You know, to tell you guys the truth, Luke and I have been trying to plan some backpacking trips, but about 2 weeks ago, the temps were incredibly high for the area that we live in. I know out west, everyone's having a heat wave, so comment down below and tell me how hot it has been where you live at.
This is one of those locations that I have to keep private because look at this place. Look at it. Where in the United States do you find something like this? Not many places. This is very, very uncommon. This is what they refer to as a boreal forest. And finding that in the United States is almost impossible. It's funny, everyone, about 15 minutes ago, the entire mountain was engulfed in fog. And as you all could see, it has lifted, but everything here is just soaking wet. Super, super wet. It's actually this way, Kitty.
Okay.
It takes me a minute here to get orientated. It has been a while since I've been here. So everyone, we have made it. Susie and I, we've been hiking for maybe 40 minutes, something like that. It's a very technical hike. You really have to go slow. You have to pay attention. There's a ton of holes in between like rocks and roots. And oftentimes you'll step on this like spongy moss and go right in between those two. So you really have to be careful. You really can't film a whole lot. But this is the place. This is the secret gem. And folks, it is incredible. It really is.
While hiking, and especially now getting down to this spot, I can see all of the rocky ledges that we were hiking on. You don't even realize what you're walking on. It's like the forest is stuck in the 70s with this lush shag carpeting everywhere. So I was just up there on that rock ledge, didn't even realize I was on a rock or on a ledge. This is incredible.
Susie is right about the forest and how, like in this area especially, it's like a series of ledges. So up top you have one, this is two, there's another one down here that drops off. It's pretty wild, actually. Susie, what do you think about this?
Perfect.
In this forest, because it's so dense, right? Finding a place to set up your tent, finding a flat place to have lunch, it's not an easy thing to find. Perfect. When it comes to a mossy forest like this, anytime that you damage this moss, it takes roughly 10 years for it to grow back. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Honestly, it's another reason to keep it secret. The more people that come out here, the more people that are having fires, camping, it will take a toll on the forest.
It's true. As we began setting up, you saw me grab these pieces of wood. These are super important. Because of all this spongy moss, you need something for the legs of your chairs. Otherwise, you're just going to sink right into the ground in different ways.
So today for our lunch, we are going to be cooking up some chicken, making teriyaki noodles, and we have an onion to add to that as well. It's a pretty simple dish, as we are simple.
Before we came out, we decided to use some of our Soto products. I love that company. It's a Japanese company. They make really cool tables and cook sets, stuff like that. And of course, we're not sponsored or anything like that. We're using this because we like it. So, plain and simple. We have the Navigator cook set. My review on this is coming up very soon. This is an awesome kit. It's really well thought out. And that's kind of like the thing about Soto, this Japanese company. Like, everything they make, like, highest quality, very well thought out. Everything tends to have, like, more than one use, which is pretty cool.
So I had read about people when they go camping in Japan. Camping to them is an entire experience.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you've seen any videos of people camping in Japan, they will have a setup like you would not believe. It's more of just an experience for them where they make it almost like a cozy little home.
Yeah.
You will see them decorate their camping area with rugs, lights,
Figurines.
yes, decorations.
They have setups, like you said, that are just, like, the average American couldn't even comprehend. Because,
Right.
like, it's very luxurious, I guess.
It is. They cook incredibly big meals.
Yeah.
And so from what I've read and from what I've heard is that for them it's like a way to get away from normal life, which it is for us too.
Sure.
They just do it in a much grander scale. You know, they have so much more to their little camping area than we do. They'll have a huge table just for decoration.
Right?
So I like that. I admire that about them. And I think when, you know, this company, they make a lot of products that have dual uses. And even the One Tigress table, that's a good example.
Oh, yeah, right.
The steel table that One Tigress has come out was designed for the Japanese market. And that is simply because they have a different style of camping about them.
True.
Than we do.
I think it's funny, it's like talking about, like, the rugs. I think I saw one video, it's like an ASMR thing, like no talking, whatever. And I'm pretty sure, like, this guy, he put down like 3 or 4 rugs. Like I said, it's an experience thing.
It is. It's a really big experience. And
That's so cool.
They cook a lot of food.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like more than you would even. I'm thinking, like, is it wasteful? How do they eat all that?
But they do.
They do. They
It'd be
cook.
like one little man, and
Yeah.
he'll just eat a ton of food. It's unreal.
Yeah, and so what I heard about that is that's not what they get to do in their everyday life. So that's why it's so grand.
Yeah. I think, like, for us, make this real quick, our experiences come from this. And, like, for us, at least, it's never been like, oh, this meal is going to be incredible, or, like, all of that takes away from this for
Yes.
us, for me, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do it for right here, what we're surrounded by. You may do it for another reason, for that big special meal.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, for me, it's this. For you, it's this.
That boils so fast. This is the Windmaster Soto stove, and it is incredible. Perfect. Now, folks, we need to move on to the chicken and the onions. And we will use this awesome little table to cut on. When you're cooking over a canister stove like this, you'll be surprised at how little heat, like just a little bit of heat can go a long way. I guess that's how you say it, but it's true. Just a little bit of heat, oh yeah. So we are going to cook up the onions, the chicken, then we will add it to the noodles. We have some special sauce, oh yeah. Let's check the noodles, everyone. They look like they're done, don't they? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Cheers to lunch in the forest.
Cheers, Susie. Cheers, friends. Cheers, Forest. Wow. I tell you what, this is the perfect day. The wind is blowing maybe about 7 miles an hour. It's about 55 degrees. 55 degrees, folks. July. How about that?
Pretty crazy. My hands were actually cold while we were hiking some, just from the dampness. And you know, I'd mentioned I had been planning some backpacking trips, and I planned a really fun, long trip, but the temps were in the 90s just a few weeks ago. And we said, hey, that's not smart. We cannot do this trip. It's way too hot. No matter how bad you want to do some of these trips, you always have to be smart about it, and it just was not the right time to do it, so.
She had found this really cool trail off of the mountains somewhere. Way too hot. Just way too hot.
Way too hot.
All right, so lunch.
Lunch.
Oh yeah, Susie, ladies first. This really does look good.
Feed me. Feed me.
Feed you?
Put the noodles in my mouth.
There's no way this works out well.
Probably not. We'll see. Okay.
How is it? Is that good? It's funny, it's like I've been dreaming about coming out to this location and cooking this meal for a couple of weeks now. Like on my phone, I'm always making lists. So I have an idea for like this type of trip and this trip. I've been dreaming about this forest. It is so unusual here in like the lower 48. I mean, it's a special spot.
That is so good.
Is it? That came from a man brain right there. So that is absolutely amazing. Not everything I think of comes out that great. seem to remember some sort of like lemon cake coffee combo that was pure vomit.
Yeah, now, would you guys out there,
It doesn't matter.
if you were eating a piece of lemon cake, would you dump your coffee all over it to make it better?
Yes.
Just let that sink in. Lemon and coffee. They don't make like lemon flavored coffee.
In here, it still makes sense, but it was flippin' awful. I remember Lucas tried it too, and he did not like it.
Oh my gosh. Those are two flavors that don't really mix, lemon and coffee.
Yeah.
But this works.
Mm-hmm.
This works.
Works really good.
Mm-hmm. Really good.
Already, Susie and I have talked quite a bit, but there's been something on Susie's mind that she's been wanting to talk with you all about for a while. This is the real first time that you all have seen Susie since we did our out west overland trip. So that trip was awesome. The truck did awesome. Who is tired of getting in the back of the truck and dealing with sand and stuff? That would be her.
Me.
To me, I don't care. But it's a very unelegant system.
So time has just flown by since we got back from our trip, and I'm so glad that we did that when we did, because now the whole country is having a heat wave and it's unbearable out there. But anyway, after getting back from that trip, my wheels have started turning, and this is what I want to do for the future, and I want your input. So I'm just going to throw it out there, and you guys leave some comments, send me some emails, give me some feedback. But what do you all think about a van coming to the channel, but it's my van, not his van. It's for me. Camping in the truck made me realize like it works really well, but you always have to get out of the truck. I just had this realization that if I get a van, it opens up more possibilities to me, and I always have that security of when I park, I do not have to leave the vehicle.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it is big, and I'm not talking about van life, living in a van. I'm not talking about these $100,000 vans. I'm talking about a simple system with a van, but what a van gives you is the ability to get to the back without exiting the vehicle, which we don't have that in the truck. Space-wise, you're talking the same amount as our truck with a van. There's lots of pros to it, but I would love to hear your feedback and see what you think about that. Now, when I called it my van, I said that because if I go to the next step, I would be getting rid of my car, because Luke and I are not going to get in a situation where we have like 3 vehicles. So if I decide to get a van, it would replace my vehicle that I currently have, which is a car. So I need something that can be a daily driver, so to speak. And that's why I would call it my van. But I would love some feedback, what you guys think about it. Luke and I are not new to the world of vans. Way back, if there's anyone out there that has watched this channel from the beginning, Luke and I had a very old conversion van.
We started the entire van life movement a long time ago.
We did.
Everybody else has been playing catch up. And that's fine.
With 4 people and 2 dogs camping, because that's what life used to be like. We had a lot of stuff. So having that green, we called it Turtle, having the green conversion van. And I know you did a couple of videos taking it out.
I think there's a few rules. I don't want it full of wood. I don't want it looking like my grandma's bathroom. I know that's super popular right now. In 10 years, it's not going to be. Wood is generally a mistake inside of a vehicle. I mean, you could build some amazing things. I'm sure there are some amazing vans out there, but like nothing dates a vehicle like putting wood in it.
Yeah, well, I'm not looking to live in it full time. That's not my goal.
Yeah.
This is for traveling, for camping.
I mean, you know, it's funny. It's like you mentioned like the whole van life thing. Here's a little secret. Like, we're friends with a lot of channels. You know, we know a lot of people. I can tell you that there are many, many channels out there who portray themselves as living in their vehicle. They don't. That's BS. Most people are not living in their vehicles, especially in the summertime. It's almost impossible unless you're plugged into like shore power.
True.
You're not going to ever stay cool enough with battery systems, Battleborn, Jackery, whatever. So it's like a lot of times you'll see these channels and they give the impression that they're living out of their vehicle. They're spending about 3 days a week in their vehicle, staggering hotel rooms and stuff like that. So like that's not something Susie wants to do. That's not something we want to do.
Nope.
It's just not realistic.
Comment down below. Tell me what you think. Should I do this? Do you want to see me traveling in a van? Just let me know. But yeah, this is going to be a budget-friendly van experience.
Like on YouTube and whatnot, these channels, $200,000 vans, 20, 30-year loans on these things.
People get these vans, and like our truck, we don't get great gas mileage. So when you build it out like a house and it's full of wood, think of the gas mileage that you get with that. So, you know, I'm looking at doing something very comparable to the Tundra, space-wise, all of that. Very similar, the same
Very
setup.
simple.
Yeah, very simple setup. Like our setup doesn't change. If we took the Tundra out, we would take the same stuff and travel like we did. If we
Yeah.
took the van out, it would be the same setup.
Make sure to share your thoughts about the vehicle itself. I mean, there's only a handful of options out there when it comes to vans. You have Ford, I wouldn't even count Chevy. You have Nissan, which you shouldn't count because they're discontinuing their vans. So it's like Ford, Dodge, Mercedes Sprinter. There you go.
Mercedes Sprinter, yeah.
I think the Sprinter van is pretty much out. Like, we know a handful of people who own them, and like the reliability on those things are so poor, and they
Yeah.
are so expensive to fix. And then you have to think about dealerships are limited if you're traveling. So if your vehicle breaks down, you have to have that thing taken to a dealership. We have a friend of ours who has a Sprinter van. It broke down out west, and they had to ship that thing hundreds and hundreds of miles. It was a huge bill on top of the repair costs. We've spoken to so many people who have the Sprinter vans or had them. Quite a few have actually sold them. A number of mechanics. We've talked to people here on YouTube, and everyone says just be very careful buying a Sprinter van. It's like you're buying, it's almost like buying like a Gucci purse or something like that. It's a name brand and you're gonna pay for it. I don't do Gucci anything.
You're paying
You know
for
what
the
I mean?
brand. You're not paying for anything but the name. And that's just not who I am.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like a four-wheel drive Sprinter starts at what, like 70 grand for like a shell with no windows in it. So, I mean, like, yeah, if you see a Sprinter van on YouTube, someone spent over 100 grand easy on that thing. So that's just how it goes. Turtle was fun. God, I took that thing all over the place. Turtle was two-wheel drive. I took that thing on roads that it should have never went on. It just kept on going. It was an old Dodge. The only issue it had was that it had some sort of like electric energy leak. So like if you left it parked for like more than a couple of weeks, the battery was dead. Outside of that, it just kept going.
I couldn't remember if it was a Chevy or a Dodge.
Yeah, it was a Dodge.
Oh yeah, okay.
We are done here. I will be back rather soon to film an overnight adventure here. I love this place. And I tell you what, it is vast. This is a huge area, and I've explored only a small part of it.
For myself, while being out here, my favorite thing is how quiet it is. You don't even hear your own footsteps as you are walking through the forest. You don't hear anything, really.
for this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review, that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for coming with us to our piece of paradise here in the forest. This is the true definition of a secret gem. I mean, there's not much like this. This is unreal.
Very special too.
Very special. Make sure to hit the thumbs up because it does help the channel. Subscribe if you want to. We appreciate you all. Strength and honor. Goodbye.
Bye.
Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me. Looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for.